What are some things, I say, in current day that people are being apprehensive about that maybe in 5 to 10 years, it's just like, oh, yeah, we're all using it just like this, the smartphone?
Self-driving electric cars.
Oh,
I predict that in 30 years so that I can be embarrassed by...
Yeah.
In 2050, you can look back at what I say and say, oh, that idiot didn't know what he was talking about.
Trust me, I'm waiting for that day.
Okay, so I totally was joining the prediction parade as I sort of poke fun at the really bad predictions. I said I shouldn't poke fun at other people unless I put my own predictions at risk. But one of them I feel pretty sure about, that by 2015, essentially all cars will be electric self-driving. Because... look how quickly we went from horses to cars. That was 15 years, at most 20 years.
Yeah.
In the cities, I think it took a little longer in the suburbs. Tractors had to figure out how to do tractors. But so 15 years. So we already have cars. Now they just be self-driving. So that's a smaller lift for your acceptance than going from a car to a horse, first of all. Second, you don't keep your car for 30 years or 20 years, at most 10 years. It is the natural thing to get swapped out for whatever is new.
Yeah.
Given the natural life expectancy of what the technology is. It's the second point. Third point, self-driving cars. They could go 100 miles an hour at one car distance from each other and never get in an accident.
Yeah.
Because they're never texting, or they could text, but it won't matter because they're computers. Okay. They can text and drive without a problem. But they want to switch lanes. They tell the other cars, I'm switching lanes.
Yeah, they're all communicating.
They're all
with
communicating.
each other.
And they have instant reflexes.
Yeah.
All right. And they're not putting on makeup or adjusting the dial or whatever that you'd otherwise be doing to distract you.
Okay. Mine's got an attitude.
Okay. So you don't have these and so it can travel very high speeds at a denser packed. So commutes would be a fraction of the time that they currently are. And you don't have to own the car.
Yeah.
The car would just be available because the car is the least used, most expensive asset we own. You drive it to work and you drive it home, and maybe you drive it somewhere in the weekends. Take that total hours and divide it by the 168 hours in the week. You're using the car for like 10% of your life.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it costs you $40,000 and just sitting there?
Yeah, there are days we don't even drive our cars,
Exactly.
you know?
And it's a $40,000 thing. Well, whatever you paid for your car, $20,000. Yeah. And so...
yeah, we're not rich like you.
So point is, you say, oh, I'm going to work and I'm going to leave in 20 minutes. A car shows up.
Yeah.
And it drives 100 miles an hour to work. And you get out and the car goes pick somebody else up. Okay?
I think the first real description or telling of that was it iRobot, where they really just nailed, I mean, everybody's going 150, 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I want to go automatic, and it almost wouldn't let him.
Yeah,
they were like, this is the most dangerous thing you could do right now.
Right, you can't do that. You're not able to do that. So that was a hint of that. But by the way, in iRobot, we keep thinking of robots as humanoid forms, but a robot is anything that does something automatically. So, for example,
like Jared and treating women.
Shut up.
No, so for example, the Hubble telescope, the James Webb telescope, those are robots.
Yeah.
We control them from a distance, and they can do some things automatically. A robot doesn't have to look human. In fact, the human form is one of the least useful forms you could possibly have.
So what do you think of Elon and his humanoid robot?
I'm not authorized to comment further.
Okay.
No. I'm saying there's the urge to make a humanoid robot with expressions and feelings and things, and I'm just saying, I just want a perfect cup of coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And by the way, just remember, the robot doesn't have to do everything. There are people imagining, if you look at old sci-fi, the robot would then drive your car. No, the car is the robot.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
People are like expecting, just because I feel like this, sci-fi movies and stuff have like had such an effect on us, they're expecting just like a robot butler, you know?
Right.
Could you pull up the video really quick of Elon and his humanoid robot that he's going to launch? But he purposely made it look like a human, I think just because he wanted to.
Is it in the uncanny zone?
No, definitely not. You can definitely tell it's a robot.
No. The uncanny zone is, did I say it right? The uncanny valley. In the uncanny valley, do you know about the uncanny valley?
I'm about to.
Okay, the uncanny valley is you make something that is so real that much of you wants to think it's real, but then there's the rest of you that knows it's not. And it just completely creeps you out.
Well, I think that's the question.
Wait. So if it's just if it's an ordinary robot that's not trying to be flesh and blood, then that's cool. And if it's exactly human, then it's human. All right, for all intents and purposes. But if it's not quite all the way there, it's the uncanny valley.
Well, no, I saw it might have been a TikTok asking the question of if you could be put into a VR universe where it feels completely real, but it's void of any unpleasantries, and everything is pleasant, and everything is good, and everything you could ever possibly want is there, tactilely, visually. It feels like you're there. Would you go into that world, but the whole time knowing it's technically not a real world, but it feels real?
Well, would you ever be able to come back?
I think the choice is stay in there forever or don't go in at all.
Okay, so here's the problem. Okay, there's a Twilight Zone episode on that. There was a career criminal, all right, and they finally caught up with him. They shoot him, and he shows up in this place, okay? And he's a criminal. He's a gambler, you know, thief, bank robber,
low life,
everything. Okay, and he's there, and he's greeted by he said, "Welcome, welcome. This is your new place." And he said, "Where am I?" "Oh, we'll get to that later. How can I help you? Do you need to do anything?" Yeah, I like to gamble." He said, "Come on in." And there's a whole casino there. And I like dames. This is the 1960s, so dames. We're the dames, right?
Yeah.
And so there are these beautiful women that are like come around like you see in old Vegas movies. And he starts gambling, and he's winning every time. Okay. And all the women want him. And he says, "No, I don't like this. Is there a bank I can rob?" "Oh yes, we can schedule that for you. There's a delivery thing. Here's some guns, and go rob the bank." And he robs the bank, and he has all this money. And he says, "Wow, what is this place? I hate it here. Why is everything I want? What is it?" And he says, to his host, because he's losing his mind.
Yeah.
He's losing his mind. And he says, "Guy, I hate it here. Send me to the other place."
Oh, okay.
And he says, "This is the other place."
That is terrifying.
Yeah, it was holy shit.
No, I think eventually, why couldn't wait 100 years from now? You could torture people by putting them into a VR world. And
I think the existence of sadness gives meaning to happiness.